I'm gonna teach you how to play a build that's complete by level 3. Why should you listen to someone playing a non-conventional build? Well, in the past few months, all I did is play every single class in the game, every build, test every leveling method in the game without Stomping Ground and Lightning Spear and all that stuff that will get nerfed. Dozens of times, especially Green Classes. My friend Landberger that plays with me in my mirror team, he can do 6 acts on Warrior pre-nerf, best leveling class in the game, without Stomping Ground, in 6 hours. That's what he does, 6 hours. Me, on what was considered the worst, and people really struggled to level it up, on Huntress, 7 hours. No Lightning Spear. Just the worst possible thing you can imagine. And that's with grenades. 7 hours with grenades. I'm not a speedrunner. It's pretty good time for 6 acts. Let's get into it. What you want to do is have a good start. It's very simple. You follow the start, you can't have a bad one. We're gonna start by going to Renly, and our goal is going to have Disengage for the Spear, for mobility. You're gonna have Contagion for the first few levels, up till the Cemetery map. Contagion is a skill you can even get right now, and it should be the first skill you make when you get in town. And then lastly, we're gonna be getting Explosive Grenades with Scattershot and with faster detonation time, Expedite. So Expedite is the support gem you want to go. The first thing you want to do is you want to talk with Renly, and we're going to pretend that we have bad luck, right? We don't get any weapon. If you're lucky, you can get a good weapon from the Miller, like I did, but we say we didn't. The best thing you can get is probably finding a white club, white two-handed mace from him. So you can buy that. Second best thing would be to buy a quarterstaff white. Third best would be a white crossbow. So in this case, I guess I could get this one. And with this one, it's gonna be very, very easy to kill the first witch and the Mud Boroa boss. You use Contagion for the odds, and a swing of your Great Club, and you kill anything that you need to kill. Now, additionally, you can also buy a spear right now. Now, if you get a spear, you could start with Disengage. There is always gonna be a camp in Clearfell with a skill gem. So we're gonna go there and get that right now. Outside of town, in the next area, there is always a camp with a box, and the box always drops a tier 1 skill gem. With that, we're gonna be making Disengage or Contagion, whichever one you haven't made yet. I also got a crossbow. Next, you wanna go and kill the Mud Boroa boss, the Devourer, which will drop you a tier 2 skill gem for explosive grenades, and a support gem for Expedite for the grenades. And also it will give you enough gold so that you could buy any of this stuff. Right now, all you need is a white weapon, and after the Devourer, with anything of the loot that you get, you sell everything, and then you buy the spear, you buy the crossbow, or whatever is that you are lacking for this build. Pretty much you will need a spear, crossbow, and your skill gems. I'm not gonna be giving a guide on every boss, but because the Mud Boroa is like your first boss and it completes your build, wanna make sure that you guys do it without too much problem. The boss has only 2 things. You can divide it in 2 things that are problematic. He becomes green, and when he becomes green, you need to get behind him. When instead he makes the ground red, he's gonna spawn, and he's gonna do damage. You need to avoid that. So right now he did the green thing. The other attacks are not gonna kill you, so I don't really care too much about them, and I just auto-attack him, right? The guy is dead. We high rolling here. Next important part of the game. Go back to Clearfell, and we buy everything that we need, and then we're done. All I think we need to do then is kill the 2 witches, and we have the full build. So we're gonna go back to our boy, Renly, and I'm gonna... Any rare item sells for a lot of money, so I'm gonna open this up. And you should have enough gold here to buy whatever. The crossbow, at this point you need to buy it. So if you need a crossbow, you're gonna buy it. You're gonna buy a spear and check for boots. So I get my white spear, check for boots for move speed now, and then you would buy, if you can find a crossbow that does damage. So this is decent. 146 gold, I'll buy that. Boom. Done. And with the rest, I guess, from Una, buy a little bit of... check for gloves that do damage and stuff like that, it'll be fine. And now we have support gem, we have the skill gems, and we're good. So at this point, we have the spear, disengage, put the spear on, disengage on, and now we have mobility, we have AoE with contagion, and all we have to do is make the explosive grenades. Explosive grenades, and then first gem is gonna be expedite, because it helps us explode the grenade quickly against the next targets, which is the 2 witches. And right now I like to add a point in strength here, and that's the only point I put in strength. After that, I'm gonna be going projectile damage. The reason for that is because if you get the new tier of crossbows, they're gonna require 5 extra strength right away that you do not have, and that's the reason. And now we go. So normally you wouldn't be level 3 here, I guess. Explaining things, I killed a little bit too many mobs. I'm just gonna do the boss with basic attacks and contagion as God intended. Yeah, she's dead. Get this, and then we move on to the next witch. Alright, this is the end of putting your build together, pretty much. The next map after Clearfell is the Grelwood. The witch is always gonna be close to the entrance on either side, at least it is this season, and drops always a support gem. So at this point we have 2 support gems. We have the crossbow, we have the spear, we have the contagion for Red Veil. You're gonna be using it, it's gonna be important, and we have disengage. Contagion stops being effective in cemetery, so when you reach the cemetery, the predator throw away contagion, it does not do anything anymore, but it's very powerful till then. Pretty much the only thing you need to know is that grenades keep moving after you shoot them, so watch out where you shoot them. You don't want to shoot them too forward. So if there is a boss here, you kind of want to shoot here and then they will roll towards the boss. Takes a little bit to get used to, but pretty easy. Disengage for mobility, especially when you have a large packs of enemies, you don't want to sprint in the middle of a pack. And basic attack is going to be your main damage for bosses up till the end of Act 2. When we get more support gems, so we're going to be buffing our basic attack with Lightning Infusion and increased chance to shock, or Martial Tempo if you have a lot of lightning damage already. And that will carry you through the end of Act 1. Second most important thing to know about leveling is weapons and when your weapons drop. Anyone that doesn't tell you what to do with your weapons, when to buy them, which ones to upgrade, is doing you a great disservice. We're gonna be starting with getting makeshift crossbow first. It can be dropped at level 1, as you can see here, requires level 1. And those weapons are not gonna drop before their required level. So dense crossbow is gonna drop at level 4. Don't spend your resources on this one. If you find an upgrade from makeshift, use it, that's good. Mostly it's gonna be blue. Now the sturdy crossbow is a level 10 crossbow. In a level 10, you want to recall to base, you want to check the shop, you want to buy a sturdy crossbow with good stats. If you have a regal, you can regal it. If you want to have Artificier's Orb, use Artificier's Orb and add socket runes to it and quality to it if you have it. This is going to be the weapon you use to kill the Act 1 boss, and likely the weapon that you keep till level 20. We're going to be finishing Act 1 at around level 12, 13 or 14, depending on if you're a big farmer or not. I prefer to skip most stuff. You can stay 3 levels before the map, and even 4, and then 1 extra level every 16 levels. So level 16 you can do -5 or -4, level 32 you can do -5 or -6 levels from the map. And that's pretty good for XP. Otherwise the XP penalty starts to kick in and becomes, you don't get the full XP. For the Dyad crossbow, is going to be your next upgrade most likely. Now let's take a look at that. The Varnish crossbow level 16 and the Dyad crossbow have the same stats. You can see the damage, they are the same pretty much. Now the later you get the weapon, the better the stats it can roll in terms of because affixes have a stat. You cannot drop a tier 1 affix in level 1. You need to wait till it becomes available at item level 77 for lightning damage, for example, or 78. Anyway, usually I wait till level 20 to upgrade my weapon, unless I find a really cracked Vanish crossbow before that. And this level 20 weapon, I recall, check the shop, I use regal, or use sockets and put runes in it, and then I'm good. The level 20, I will keep it and do the Act 2 boss with that. I do not upgrade to Alloy crossbow. Make sure, by the way, to keep a regal orb, and if you don't have a regal orb, and you see that you're like halfway through Act 2, disenchant your rares till you get a regal orb so that you can eventually at level 20 get the Dyad crossbow. So we skip the Alloy crossbow, we kill the Act 2 boss at around level 28-30, and then in Act 3 you'll be getting a Bombard crossbow, which grenades, skills, fire, and additional projectiles. Also, by the way guys, before you get into the Ziggurat encampment here, in this Sandswept Marsh, you can get your 3-socket skill. So you can get the 3-socket here. There, near the exit here to the Ziggurat encampment, there should be a camp with 2 rares, and there's always a rare chest. The rare chest will drop you a Jeweler's Orb. At level 33, we're gonna be doing a weapon swap. At level 33, I switch to Bombard Crossbow, which has a grenade fire and additional projectile. I do my socket thing, quality if I can, exalts. And because now I have that extra projectiles, grenades becomes more worth it. So I remove points from this side of the tree, as many as I need, till I can get this stuff here. And I wanna get the Grenadier, I wanna get all my cooldown for grenades, and my air effect, more air effect here, more cooldown, more area. Don't be scared, you don't need this stuff to play grenades, and the build is really good even if you don't have that. Then at level 33 you switch, you get that, still the best leveling build. And pretty much this is what I play till level 55 if I'm a Huntress, and then I switch to Lightning Arrow, because Huntress has accuracy that can be converted into crit chance, meaning that I can transition in Lightning Arrow with less gear than Deadeye. If you're playing Deadeye, you need more levels, more critical hit chance, better gear till switching into crit becomes worth it. And at that point it might be worth to play grenades till you have all of that. Grenades are fantastic maps, up to like tier 15, even tier 15 it's fine. Eventually though, you kinda don't want to wait anymore for things to explode to kill, and you wanna switch to a build that just clicks and booms. So that's where like Lightning Arrow and you play with Raw becomes like a better build. But grenades are incredibly strong league starter, and they work without crit, which is a big thing. Eventually you can also get +1 projectile here, which is huge for Deadeye. So for Deadeye, it's super strong to go crossbow and grenades early. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about other skill gems that I use later on. So it's perfectly fine to keep leveling with Rake and Disengage. You can add Rake with your tier 3, level 3 skill gem and play Rake Disengage. Now if you want, you can keep a level 3 or a level 4 skill gem in your bags, and eventually you can do Shield Charge and Lip Slam at level 22. At level 22, you can go Lip Slam, and I go back to Clearfell in Act 1 and I buy myself a mace and a shield at level 22, and I switch to Lip Slam. I find Lip Slam and Shield Charge to be slightly faster than Rake Disengage for mobility, but it's really like gonna save you like 40 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. By the end you level up. You can do some interesting skips with the Lip Slam, but honestly if you want to keep things simple, Rake Disengage, or just Disengage even, is gonna do wonders. You don't have to worry too much about it. Gas Grenades are a great skill, they add more damage. It's good to have them, you know, if you run out of cooldowns, throw those. And Earl of Ash is good as your first Spirit Gem. And then Wind Dancer, I use Wind Dancer up till I can get my pet. When I can get my pet here, my pet point, sorry, I switch to, I tame a pet with like Haste Aura or something in Act 3. And then this will give you like 20 points here, because this you get the bonuses from the companion, right? Because there's reductions to damage, so this is 20 points for you, each of them. It's pretty big damage. So I like that, and eventually I do switch into playing with the companion. The Oil Grenade will apply exposure to elements, and that's just more damage for bosses, and that's pretty much it. You know, basic attack, Lightning Infusion, and Conduction. If you want to have a martial tempo for your Lip Slam, that's nice, and I do Magnified Effect for clear on grenades, and you can do Fire Infusion for bosses. That's pretty much all I do up to level 55. And at level 55, if I'm Huntress, I switch to Lightning Arrow. You can try to switch to Lightning Arrow at level 55 with the die, and that's okay. Definitely works. So level 55 you get the Twin Bow, which shoots 2 arrows, and that's good. Also you get, I believe, tier 3 supports, and you get the Tornado Shot at level 52 or 53, I don't remember, which makes your boss damage much better because you can shoot through your Tornado Shot. And that's pretty much the best way to start Green Class. Fastest. Tested 20 times. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again on the next one.